Peace, family. This is Shofar from Faux Show Energy Work.
And this is Kirti from Dil Se Culture.
And we're talking today. We wanted to take a moment to reach out to you. It's been a little while since we came through. We wanted to talk about VAX That Thing Up and our reaction to this. Oh boy, deep one on this one. Thank you for tuning in. Even with that being said, I feel the need, before we even go in on this one, let's take a deep breath together collectively through time and space, wherever you all are at. Let's breathe in. Let's do 3 deep breaths together. Breathing in and out. And breathe in and out. And one more. Breathing in and out. All right, so for those of you who are not familiar with VAX That Thing Up, or maybe even its predecessor, probably 15-year-old song now from back in the day, by, I believe it's the Hot Boys, Juvenile, the camp that Lil Wayne ended up coming from, called Back That Thing Up or Back That Ass Up, depending on what version you got, if you got the radio version or you got the in the club version. So back that ass up, back that thing up. And for those of you who don't know, there's a new version out right now called VAX, V-A-X, VAX That Thing Up, VAX That Thing Up, as in vaccine that ass up. So lots to say on this. Going to try to say it succinctly and everything, but anything that just pops out in your head, or I can definitely go in.
Yeah, and I want to definitely hear you go in, and I have a lot to say about it too, just because of like the role of music and its ability to empower and entrain and direct the public, and also just seeing how like this video, it feels like it's targeting a certain population. And I know for myself, I'm not African American. I'm a South Asian. I'm a child to immigrants. And for me, I find it was disrespectful, just as someone being completely honest. It almost felt like a very false representation of the people that I know, I guess. All the Black folks that I know wouldn't be turned on by that video. And for me, just to see the representation of the sexualization of Black culture, which I'm definitely used to from growing up in this country, and have gone through my own journey of that and processing that for myself and what that means and how I've let it affect me. At the same time, it's just like, wow, it's the same story. And I think that in order for us to move forward in any conversations around sexuality in America, or the sensuality being repressed, or the divine feminine, as American women, we really have to dedicate ourselves to looking at the womb of the Black and Indigenous people of this land, and how it's the same story just being told over and over again in a different way. And this is coming from a first-generation American that, feels disrespected. I can't imagine, what it feels like to have had generations of mothers and sisters and aunties on this soil, and kind of having the same conversation over and over. And I know while we watched it, at one moment I was just like, man, I feel so bad. I'm so sorry. Like, I know I feel disrespected with my culture sometimes when I see like yoga, but still, like, that's like a super peaceful, blissful. I don't see my women, just the women of my background, just being portrayed in the same fucking light over and over again, and like making it seem like that's all we do and that's all the only way we should be seen.
Yeah, because to that point, Kirti, like, this is a video that's going out not just in America. This is something that's being jettisoned all around the world, and with the underrepresentation of Black people and the images that people see of African Americans or Black people.
Totally.
And when you do finally see it, it's this. And it's consistently this. Then you start to form an opinion of this is what these people are.
Right, totally. And that's what media does. That's what the power of music is, where like if we like the beat, and I remember when the beat first came out, I remember I had snuck into a club in DC. I was a part of this like youth conference and we were in DC, and I remember, oh my gosh, this is so cool, I'm gonna dance. And I remember that I'd never experienced anything like that when the song dropped, to see the vibration of the club and to feel that. I mean, it was pretty wild and it was pretty amazing. It felt nothing like vaxxing that thing up by any means. And I also remember being really uncomfortable in the club, my person, because of the type of girl that I was. I was like this San Diego kid, grew up in a small white racist town, and like just probably was being exposed to hip hop and conscious hip hop, and not really knowing so much of the popular songs. I did watch MTV Raps, as a kid, but I remember when I really heard the song and the lyrics, I did feel a little offended, and I felt crazy kind of being sandwiched by men in a club and feeling the pressure to dance and like show up in a way that like I didn't know how to dance. And I think I was embarrassed a little bit at the time. And I remember the next day, it was kind of a little bit of a joke of how innocent I was in the club, yet I'm just this like wild, free spirit. And watching that video again, I'm like, wow, it's the same thing. The pressure of being sexy, and what does sexy mean? And so, yeah, I just feel for the women that don't fall in the norm. And again, seeing like, and then on top of it, using that message in a way to use your body to protect your body, but yet it's okay to expose your body, in this way that's been forced. And then, so now openly expose your body. At the same time, they're saying to vaccinate, which is like a really weird, twisted thing.
Yeah, because they're showing people like on dating apps, and but you don't get any sex unless you're vaccinated. Not even talking about protected sex.
Well, I believe there's even a line in the song that kind of is saying you have permission to like not wrap that thing up if you vax that thing up. So it's a weird twist for youth, especially for the youth, that for them this is a brand new song, right? It's like it's got a dope beat and it's a fun, and we that beat is fun. We've all had a good time dancing to that song and having a good time to banging beats. That's like what's so beautiful about hip hop. And also, unfortunately, it's like that is like not the message that we're trying to give about it.
No, I mean, because even as I became more and more conscious, I do like that he had in the original a line like, "You a big fine woman, won't you back that thing up?"
Right.
It's like he was recognizing like all different types of women could get.
Right.
Yeah. And I thought that was so cool that he was like, "Yeah, you a big woman, you can still back it up," But
now it doesn't matter what kind of woman are, you can vax that thing up.
No, and I'm not feeling so many things here. Like you said, this is a new generation. A lot of the women that they're depicting in there, like
they're really young.
Like these are older heads, like my age or older. I'm 44. Like these are some older heads, like my age. I know that Juve and Mannie Fresh, all of them cats got to be either my age or older.
Right.
And the women that they're showing are like, these woman beings that they're showing are like probably young enough to be our daughters. Like, what are you doing right now? And a music video, Kirti, to me is so powerful because it's taking some very powerful things that the ancients know, that both, we call it a music video. So we got images with the video, so the imagery that's being shown right now, and then music. We know the old saying that a picture paints 1,000 words. Another one that I like to say that I have in one of my poems is that, and music paints 1,000 pictures. So if that shows you that this is a marriage of two very powerful things, when you take the words and the images, and then you got the words that are being said. So then you got three things there. You got powerful words by these MCs or rappers, if you don't want to call them MCs, but these people saying things out their mouth. and then you got images, and then there's a musical beat.
Right.
That's very potent. And now it's being jettisoned, like I say, all around the world.
Well, and I mean, that's the ancient gift of storytelling. Like, those are all of the elements of storytelling as well. I mean, look at how we teach kindergartners. It's the same way. Days of the week, we use the colors, we use rhyming words. It's how we as humans learn. It's our creative force. Like, we naturally look for that rhythm and that pentameter. It's connected to the heartbeat rhythm.
Pentameter, that's a big word.
Pentameter. Do you know what that is?
I don't know what is a pentameter.
You're gonna cut that out, right?
No, we're gonna leave that. No, what is a pentameter though, for real?
It's like the rhythm, the meter, you know, of like when you speak, which is really connected to your heartbeat, which is your heartbeat, and your rhythm of your heartbeat's connected to your feelings and your emotions. So you can tell with certain cultures, right? Like how they sing and how they communicate has a certain cadence and a certain way of speaking. And so I was saying that that's also commonly used in education to, you know, educate kindergarteners. We use lots of song. We sing the days of the week, the months of the year. We learn about the colors and the emotions and our feelings. We teach them the alphabet. We teach them math. I mean, these are the best ways to learn and memorize, is by using imagery, sounds, you know, and pictures.
So, you know, and that leads us to a place where, like, these things are neither bad nor good. Like you've heard us say before, like fire. Fire is just an element. It's not good or bad. You can cook your food. You can burn down the house. You can, you know, do all sorts of things with fire and electricity and water can, you know, keep you alive or it can drown you. Same thing with music and images. They're elements, they're powerful things that I think are being misused. And so let's talk some about the misuse of these things. It's because, first of all, I don't like even the idea, and we have to be very careful about ideas, because ideas are seeds to things. The very idea that in order to reach black people, you got to put a whole bunch of booties flopping around. Like, we're not going to listen to you. Like, wherever you fall on the debate about vaccines and their importance or non-importance, and wherever you fall in that whole conversation, in order to even get us to come to the conversation, you got to have booties twerking. I have a problem with that. It really bothers me, actually, that continues to be the conversation about how to get black people's attention, about to get us to talk about real things.
It's the same depiction of a group of people since the beginning. So it's like, it's just tapping into that same neural pathway of imagery to keep the same message of power and domination going, you know?
Right.
And I think when you suppress a culture's sexuality and sensuality, the ability to create, that's quite manipulative.
Yeah, and you know, the manipulation affects very strongly, like I've heard, Master Yao and other people talk about, when you talk about indigenous black cultures, or, cultures from that region of the world and everything, even including some of the Indian culture, the Indish Kush, you know, and some Arab cultures and everything. But a lot of these cultures are what they would call water cultures. Water cultures, their main gift and also the main way to fuck them up is their sensuality. Like, through sensuality and the sexual and sensual arts is their blessing. And when you fuck it up and you muddy it, it also is their curse. And so perpetuating this thing, these images and the over-sexualization. And what do I mean by over-sexualization? Trapping a person in the root. There's nothing wrong with the root, but when the consciousness cannot do the microcosmic orbit going around to involve the heart, to involve the higher levels of consciousness and wisdom and the other faculties of our being, when it's just stuck in the genitals, that's problematic.
Right. It's almost like when you say getting trapped in the root, there's like, you don't feel like you even have the choice to move up or to move the energy if you wanted to. It just feels like there's no other possibility for you to access life and life force besides being in the root and being about the genitals. That feels like a trap, feels like a cage.
It's a trap, it's a cage, and that's how porn and the video vixens and all that stuff has been used in hip hop and perpetuating those images and trapping us and trapping our conscience. Because let's be very clear, when we talk about the chakras or the roots or however you want to, the different parts of our being, if we're stuck at a genital or reptilian survival, gotta propagate, gotta spread my seed level, again, there's nothing wrong with that. But when that's all there is to our being, that becomes problematic, because you're meant to be a diverse and to keep growing. There's other parts of your being that we're never going to bring online if that's all we are.
Right.
It sticks us in a base level of consciousness, which is fine for a reptile. It's fine for for a dog.
But it's not evolving.
Right.
It's not letting the whole album play. You're just like stuck on repeat on the same track, like doing the same thing over and over. But to You got to let the album play. It's got to evolve.
No, and you're out there. You're God beings. You're goddesses. You're God beings. You're here in the flesh to expand, and still have that be a part of your being. You don't got to deny it. You don't got to suppress it. But to allow the whole tree of life to grow, your whole consciousness, your full consciousness, not just the roots. So this is where these things become problematic too. And then to tie it all in there, and then we're talking about getting fucking vaccinated. Really.
As if that's also the most important crisis facing, our communities today. That's not the most important crisis facing our communities.
I love what the other brother, I forget his name, but he's an officer. I'll put it, Officer Tatum. It just came to me. Officer Tatum. Like, he was like, it ain't, girl, you look good. Won't you take care of your kids? It ain't, girl, you look good. Won't you, pick a better man? All of these things is going on in the Black community. All of these different things that we could be talking about. But it's something that has such a small fatality rate. If we don't see through this one, y'all, come on now. Like, of all the things that's going on, that's the only thing that we can speak to that's so important to make a song about vaxing that thing up. There's more people dying in the streets from gun violence, but we and Mannie Fresh and Juve and all of them have talked about guns and shooting other brothers and stuff. But we're not gonna make a song to stay, hey, that was, we're in a different place now. Let's not do that no more. We're going to talk about getting vaccinated.
Right,
instead.
Or to talk about changing habits and...
eat better, y'all.
To boost immunity, right?
Right.
It's like, no, you could just do this and all is forgiven and all is fine and like, let's have fun and party. But there's still so much more, like even if you vax that thing up, that you're going to have to do in order to maintain a healthy life.
No, and to that point, Kirti, I'm going to make another video about that whole thing, because it's like, wherever you fall at again on the conversation about vaccinating, whether you think it's an Illuminati trick to depopulate the world or you science-based and you like, wherever you fall in that conversation is all these other places in between. I would say this, is that I find it interesting. First of all, there's people making billions of dollars of this, and why don't we question what is their, what is the catalyst for these corporations that are pushing it so strong? And then why aren't we talking about things that are very much within your realm of changing? Like, we talk about the SAD diet, right? The Standard American Diet, SAD. I love that acronym. It's a great acronym. I didn't come up with that one. But what about the S being for smoking? People smoking, that affects your immune system.
Totally.
But Philip Morris and these corporations, even now we get, in some places like California, we even got weed now is just being, that
Totally.
shit affects our immune system. The A can be for alcohol. I know that alcohol beverages affects the immune system, especially when you're alcoholic and you drink too much. It lowers your immune system. And then the D can still be for diet. Essential workers, some places that are essential work are places like Chick-fil-A and fucking Popeyes and McDonald's. Really? And Coca-Cola still being sold, and you go through a grocery store and they still got the Snicker bars and the Kit Kats and all
Right
that
there at the
right
register.
there at the checkout. And we don't talk about this stuff in the news. Like, okay, yes, get vaccinated, but you don't even talk about changing your diet. That stuff is, before you get vaccinated, maybe do this first.
Well, and I mean, this is quite a stretch for the parallel, but it just almost feels like a very synthetic health response put in a music video that's a very synthetic sexual response too. It's like the quick fix, it's like immediately just getting that, like the body going and just like just fucking, where there's not even the understanding of what being fully open and feeling safe and comfortable, what that takes, like the health journey of being open to wanting to move your body like that.
I love that point that you say there, Kirti, because it is a very masculine quick fix thing. Think about it. This is a penile phallus symbol when we start decoding, because merrily life is but a dream, right? So just like in the dream world, things have symbols and this is just a dream too, y'all. Your consciousness is way beyond this, the light being part of yourself. So even in this 3D dimension or whatever, you have to look at the symbols of things. An injection is a phallic, penile, male way of injecting or penetrating somebody. And now it's even to a place where puncturing puncturing someone, even to the place now where they want to force it on us. Like, it's almost like it's
an
like
invasive thing.
An invasive rape culture thing where it's like, get vaccinated or else. Let me puncture you, let me penetrate you or else. If this is not, I love what you were saying there. This is definitely yet another way of the masculine invading the feminine. When we look at it deeper. Fuck. And now we got songs to back it up.
Literally.
And bad
that thing up.
to back that shit up. And bad songs at that. Like, you should have left that shit alone. It was a hip hop classic in my opinion. Like, it was fun and playful. Be it misogynistic.
But it was crazy to listen to the lyrics, like the original version.
It was
lyrics
so bad.
And be like, whoa, that's so messed up. And like just how we're just in the club scene in that age, like you're just so indoctrinated with all that stuff. And it's fun and playful. And you realize, because now being away from it, I guess, for that long, or now just listening to so much amazing, more conscious music that's out there and that's really dope and has an equally good beat and an awesome, empowering message, to listen to some of the old songs again. It's crazy to believe that, knowing all the words to those songs and just being okay with those things being said about women. And like that we're really just sexual tools. It's like, I am so not that.
No, and I think because of a good beat, we allow ourselves to just go, oh, it's not that deep or whatever. And here's the thing, for a fully, a self-actualizing, growing, conscious being, it's not. I can descend. Give me the beat, and I'm gonna dance and have fun. But at the end of the day, I'm not letting your message really, really deeply penetrate me. I'm gonna do my spiritual work. So your shit and all that shit you just said about women and stuff, like I ain't with that. That's bullshit. But you know what? Youth don't know how to do that. Kids don't know. They don't have that discernment yet. And so you're penetrating, you're puncturing their consciousness with bullshit and injecting it with a bunch of bullshit. Whether we're talking about the vaccinations or whether we're talking about, the over-sexualization of bodies in general, albeit especially black bodies, So anyway, I got some more stuff to say about, and it's not just this. We got Lil Nas X. We got so many other things that are bombardment right now. The over-sexualization of black bodies.
It's actually I feel like at the core of all of it is to confuse.
Yes. And that's another video I want to do, is two main things that I feel like the Illuminati, whoever, us, because we're all one at some level of being, but we're separated down here. Let's be very clear. There's two main agendas, I feel, and you hit on one of them, is to distract and distort. To distract your consciousness and get you tied up, like talking about these different things, because then you're not doing your self-work. You're not about your godship then, or to distort your reality. But either way, and this, wow, I'm getting chills. This goes back to some ancient shit. When the ancient story, y'all go back and read the Assyrian story, or I forget what it's called, but the story of Heru or Horus, and we can, and wrapping this video up, the ancient story of Set and how he killed Osiris, his brother. This goes back to ancient Kemet or Egypt, and Asar, the king, aka Osiris, what the Greeks call him was Osiris. The ancient Egyptians or the ancient people of Kemet or Kem called him Asar. But anyway, Set, where we get the word Satan from, and some of you may have heard me tell this story before, so I'm telling it again though because it's still pertinent. Set attacked Asar and killed him and cut him up into different pieces and everything. And then Asar, or Osiris's son, Heru or Horus, where we get the word Heru or hero from, he battled his uncle, because Set wanted to take over the kingdom, the queendom, and so Horus battled him.
Wow. And
he was not able to overthrow Set. And this is one thing that Set's thing that he was doing, very powerful and pertinent to why I bring this up, is because he just getting Heru to just battle him, he was making him lose, because instead of him being able to do other things, he was engaging Set, wasting his energy. So as long as he was engaging him, Set was still winning. And it wasn't until Thoth or Tehuti or Hermes, third eye, stepped in and told him, hey, look, Heru, This is what he wants you to do. As long as you're engaging him in any fashion,
right,
you're losing. It's not until you go to a higher part of your being that he can't go to, because he's stuck in his root. Set is stuck in his root. And as long as you're engaging him down here, you're not able to go to the higher levels of creation and understand how to get the wisdom to overcome this. So I say all that to say, more succinctly, as long as we're engaging in this and not going into deep meditation or going out into nature and getting your answers to this, as long as we're engaging this shit, they are winning. So don't get caught up in this shit.
Yeah, we remain distracted.
We remain distracted. So they're looking to distract us. They're looking to distort us.
Right. And I guess when we're distracted, we're weaker because we're not in our truth and our power. It's like when you're fighting and you have that stance and you're like present versus distracted, you can get knocked over. Right. Then you can be distorted. Yeah,
as some boxers say, we're being allowed to be taken off our square. Like it's all about footwork, right? Or it's good martial artists. It's like you got to watch your footwork. Like somebody can tip you over really easy, right? That's what Kirti is alluding to. Is like right now, many of us are being able to be tipped over real easy because of all this bullshit. So stay on your square, y'all.
Yeah, try not to be confused. Look at enough sources and really listen to all sorts of different points of views before you decide what you believe in, because the majority of what we're being exposed to is not necessarily the majority of what's really happening on the planet.
No, it's a lot more going on. Ashe, aho, amen. That feels complete. It feels good.
Yeah.
The rest is for them to do. As always, the heavy lifting is always on us, right? It's always on each one of us as individuals. So,
and of course, we these are our opinions.
Right.
And take what resonates, and whatever we said, if it offended you or if either of our presences offend you or our thoughts, that's not our intention. It's our truth based on our experiences. And leave a comment if there is a question, and we would love to discuss and engage or talk about that one next.
Amen. Yeah. And so, Kirti, with that, let them know what you got going on, how they can reach you if they want more of you. I can see why they would just want more of you. And this blue popping looks so nice.
Oh, right? You're really sweet.
So let people know what you got going on and how they can reach you.
Yeah, everything's on my website. Check me out at dilseculture.com. And I just launched a membership. I'm looking to build an online community of 44 members who are committed to raising the energy of the divine feminine on the planet by breath, movement, and vibration. So we do lots of practices to engage ourselves in that on a monthly basis. So if you're ready to go deep, check me out. I'd love to journey with you.
Amen. And again, y'all, I'm Shofar, and so Kirti and me do energy work together. We do it for couples and we do it for singles, binary, non-binary, wherever you fall in the spectrum. We honor all of those because it's all love. So we do energy work for couples. We also do coaching for couples, and then also for singles. Kirti works with the ladies. I work with the fellas. So if any of this, if you've seen our video here or other videos and you're like, hey, I want to step into this stuff more, I want to, reach out to us maybe about a coaching session. We can see if it's a good fit. I have a book called Sacred Orgasmic Living, Sacred Orgasmic Living. That's a good place to start too, to get some more information on this path. We have a series of workshops like Hip Hop Kundalini and Evolve Love. I'll put the Evolve Love link here where you can check that out. That one is for couples, but it, wherever you fall on that, it can still be helpful. We just thank you for, coming through. Oh, and if you like my fashion today, show that. See that right there? That shirt, that is the cover of Soul, so that's the, but that shirt is available, my faux show swag as well, so I'll put that in the link as well. But anyway, with all that being said, we definitely appreciate you just coming through and taking a moment to build with us. So, and keep that XEX in your life. Keep shining, keep evolving, and do so exponentially. Peace. Y'all.